From a young age, we're taught to view these men as the ultimate moral heroes of the free world. We memorize their speeches and build monuments to them, trusting that they represent the highest ideals of leadership. Yet, the historical record tells a different story. These same revered figures are inextricably linked to undeniable massacres and actions that align with the modern definition of war crimes. To understand the presidency, we have to strip away the sanitized mythology. We need to look directly at the documented atrocities authorized by our most famous commanders-in-chief. Confronting these records offers a necessary view into the unvarnished weight of the presidency, showing exactly what happens when executive power operates without constraints. Abraham Lincoln stands as the ultimate American moral icon, celebrated for holding the Union together and ending slavery. But in 1862, during the U.S. Dakota War, Lincoln personally authorized the largest mass execution in the nation's history. The trials were a sham. Most defendants had no legal representation, and some cases lasted only minutes. It ended with 38 Dakota men being hanged simultaneously in front of a crowd of thousands. Lincoln faced immense political pressure from settlers demanding blood, but by modern standards of due process, this mass execution stands as a stark war crime that complicates his flawless legacy. Theodore Roosevelt and William McKinley are figures we often associate with national parks and the image of a robust, growing America. During the Philippine-American War, U.S. forces under their command used water torture and established civilian concentration camps where thousands died from disease and neglect. In 1906, the violence reached a peak at the Morro Crater Massacre, where U.S. troops slaughtered hundreds of villagers, including women and children, who were sheltering in a volcanic crater. Roosevelt praised the troops involved and buried the reports that detailed the scale of the carnage. By framing imperialism as civilization triumphing over savagery, these popular leaders used a specific brand of propaganda to shield colonial atrocities from public scrutiny. Even the good war has its dark chapters. Under FDR, the practice of American troops taking body parts from dead Japanese soldiers as trophies became so normalized that the president was once gifted a letter opener carved from a human arm bone. His successor, Harry Truman, authorized the use of newly developed atomic weapons to end the conflict. This map illustrates the scale of the strikes on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The immediate blasts and subsequent radiation sickness resulted in over 200,000 civilian deaths. Looking at this data, we see the mathematical calculus used to justify the strikes. Defenders argue the move saved lives by avoiding a ground invasion, while critics point to the deliberate targeting of civilian centers as genocidal. When the victors write the laws of war, their own actions rarely face prosecution. Because the U.S. won, the legal consequences of mass civilian destruction were effectively written out of the record, ensuring these strikes remained outside the reach of international law. In the post-9/11 era, George W. Bush bypassed the Geneva Conventions to authorize what the administration called enhanced interrogation techniques. At the Abu Ghraib prison complex, the CIA and U.S. soldiers subjected detainees to profound psychological abuse and physical torture, creating images that shocked the world when they finally leaked. Barack Obama entered office promising to end the era of torture, yet he oversaw a massive expansion of the covert drone strike program. This graphic demonstrates the concept of signature strikes, a policy where individuals were targeted for death based on suspicious behavioral patterns, rather than a confirmed identity. Under this policy, any military-age male in a strike zone could be classified as a combatant by default. This abstract approach to targeting led to hundreds of civilian casualties delivered from the sky. Modern warfare has evolved into a system of remote-controlled death. This technological distance allows contemporary leaders to carry out visceral brutality while maintaining a clean public image. These patterns suggest that massive violence is less of an anomaly and more of a systemic feature built into the office of the presidency itself. A legacy of achievement can coexist with a history of atrocity. Facing the record directly allows us to evaluate the presidency as it actually functioned, looking past the curated highlights to see the people who paid the price for national expansion. Placing political leaders on unassailable pedestals prevents accountability. When we refuse to look at the darker chapters of our history, we lose the ability to critique the power that created them. True patriotism is found in learning from history's ugliest truths. Preventing the atrocities of tomorrow begins by tearing down the marble mythologies of the past.